All right, well, let's get started. So, kind of our agenda today, we'll do quick intros of who we are. We'll do some housekeeping. We'll do a little meet and greet with you guys. We got a few polling questions that we'd like to kind of ask to get a little data in terms of maybe areas that we'd like to focus some topics on for the overall user group, and then just a little slide about learn more in terms of that if you didn't know about, maybe are new, or did know about them, maybe they're just refreshers in terms of some content to help you stay connected to.
Hey, Kurt, you're kind of breaking up a little bit.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to unshare and you try to take over?
Well, let's see if you share, and then maybe you drop your camera, and I could probably talk for a bit while you're just showing the slides. You could probably introduce yourself and then drop, and I'll just kind of go through the slides.
Sounds fair. Okay. Well, sorry about that if we're having issues, but I am Kurt Jones. I work for JP Morgan Chase. I'm one of their marketing delivery leads in the payments marketing side of their house. So they have a lot of marketing groups, and I'm in the payments side. I am one of the Workfront community advisors. So if you guys go out to the community, ask questions, need something answered, I may be at one point in time a person that is answering one of those questions or helping to answer. So I try to stay pretty active in the community, and I've got a few other credentials, Workfront and Fusion and things of that nature. I've been working with the product for about 7 years. And my colleague.
Hi, I am Joaquin Avina, and I am a Workfront implementation and architect consultant with Insight Global. Currently, I am working with Dell Technologies to help with their implementation. It's been kind of a long process for them, about 3 years, and I'm kind of coming in sort of in the middle of the process to help some of their use cases kind of adopt Workfront as their work management tool. I am a Workfront core developer expert, licensed, certified. I have 30 years of marketing and advertising experience, and I originally started off as a graphic designer, believe it or not. I kind of imagine most people started as something else before they started working with Workfront and started becoming more sort of the go-to person or the SME of Workfront. And that's kind of how my long path has been. And I have been working exclusively with Workfront probably about 7 years now. So we just have a couple house rules here. A lot of these are very similar if you've participated with other Adobe webinars or events. These are kind of all the same stuff that you'll find there as well. Well, the key thing is this is a really informal gathering of like-minded Workfront users, and we're kind of here just to kind of collaborate, share experiences, ask questions, those kind of things. So this is not really the space to promote your business. Now, I am a partner, but I won't try to sell you on what I do and how you can get in touch with me. I'm just here to share my experience, things that I've learned, and all that kind of stuff. So we try to leave that to a minimum at all, and actually not at all. And then the other thing too is this is a great space to start networking, but we do ask that you ask permission first. So just, reach out to somebody to say, hey, I would love to be part of your LinkedIn network. Can I reach out and ask for an invite or to be connected? You're more than welcome, and I'm sure Kurt feels the same way. You're more than welcome to touch out to me on LinkedIn and ask to be part of my network there as well. And, I'm on the socials if you want to even follow me there too as well. And then we do ask, if you are going to share specifics about your use case, your environment, your instance of Workfront, you don't necessarily have to share detailed information. You can keep it all above line so that you're just kind of doing overall broad stroke examples or what you're talking about in terms of any issues you might be going on. Kurt and I, depending on like what we're presenting, we may show real life examples, but we'll probably either black out key elements or we might create a quote unquote dummy environment so that we can kind of show what we can do and what we cannot do in that regard. So just be mindful of that too, that even though this is recorded, you do have the right to not include any information that you don't want to. So next slide.
Any questions on that? Just want to make sure nobody has any questions.
So we do have, oh, go ahead, Kurt. Sorry.
I was going to say, am I still breaking up?
No, actually, you're sounding a lot clearer. Yeah.
Okay, so let me take this one. So one of the things, obviously, you guys are here today. You found your way to our WUG Colorado chapter page, which is awesome. Do make sure there should be a link there to join our chapter. So a lot of times when folks will kind of come in, they'll register for, say, one of the chapter events, not necessarily join. And the reason for joining is just when we send out new events or create new events for folks, then you get notified. You know, we don't want anyone to miss events that they may want to participate in. As well, like you heard us talking early at the call, there's a link here for the chapters page, and we will send the deck out to you guys when we're done, so you have this information in these links. But you can join or go to any chapters meeting. If you see a topic from another chapter that may be of interest to you, or maybe it's a use case that you guys are trying to figure out, hop in there and find out, hey, what are you guys talking about? This is something that we're trying to figure out as well for our company. So it doesn't really matter where you're at. You know, there's a lot of like-minded people across the US for the most part that seem to, you know, want to know more and more and learn more and more about Workfront. So next slide. You want to go through this one?
Yeah, so this is really great. So we're expanding all over the country, and Becky over in the, I think it's SoCal WUG, is that correct, Julie? So the SoCal WUG has asked to do a mega WUG. So we're including all members who are part of or want to be a part of any of the localized WUGs to share in sort of this after party from the skill exchange. So if you had an opportunity to watch the skill exchange, our friend Kurt here presented Fusion on how you can create an automation to put users within your system by leveraging Adobe Console. And so this is a great opportunity where we're going to have, it's going to be a moderated event. We're going to have a few panelists, which I am one of the panelists for. And we're going to kind of talk about the different sessions, the overall perspective of what happened in the skill exchange. And we're going to kind of just give a little feedback and insight and our own personal takeaways from what we saw and what we experienced during that event. And then we'll probably end it with a little bit of a Q&A as well. So if there's any additional questions that come up that maybe weren't addressed during the panel discussions, then we'll be able to answer those too as well. And so that is active. So you can actually go into the WUG main page and look for the mega WUG. And we also have a, well, I guess we still have a work in progress QR code in there. I think that's active. The HTML is live too. So that is, you can click on that, or once we send this out, you can sign up there as well. So, yep.
Excellent. Also, just kind of a little plug. We all use Workfront. If you want to give your perspective or your feedback around the product, these QR codes are live, I believe. So in terms of if you wanted to leave a review, what's good, what's bad, what's indifferent, things of that nature, you can do that as well just by essentially.
Yep, broke up again, Kurt.
Keep moving on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Event calendar. So what Joaquin and I would like to be able to do is, our chapter was born, our birth date is July 16th, so to speak. That's when our chapter kind of got created. What we will try to do is every time that we meet, we'll kind of have an updated version of this calendar for events that might be coming. Right now, we just kind of have the September events. Obviously, today's the 27th. That's our kickoff. If anyone is interested on some of the other WUGs that may be coming here in the next month or so, Pittsburgh has one tomorrow. The mega WUG that we just talked about is on the 10th, and there's also a chapter WUG for Boston on the 15th. And so we'll continue to kind of fill out this calendar basically each quarter to kind of give you guys an idea of not just WUGs, but there's events like summits and maps and things of that nature that we'll try to capture as well, so that if folks are interested in events like that, they have an idea of, okay, when do I need to go register for those. All right. So Joaquin, I'll let you kind of drive this one in case I break up.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, we just want to get to know you guys a little bit. Again, you could share as much or as little as you want. We just want to kind of know some basics: who you are, where you work, the role that you currently have, sort of in your operation. It could be both like as the Workfront admin, or if you're sort of double dipping and I have other responsibilities along with Workfront, please let us know that too as well. And then what is like the thing that you like most about Workfront? And one other thing that's not on there that I like, what's your dream feature on Workfront? And the one thing that I would like to hear maybe is what's kind of something that you like that's not Workfront related, because we can't always spend every hour on Workfront trying to solve every conceivable problem that's out there. There's obviously things that we like to do outside when we actually have some freedom to go do that. And for me, this is something that not many people know about me. They're trying to get to know a little bit more, but I do theater when I am not working at my desk 10 hours of the day. So I'm actually cast in a play right now that I'm rehearsing for that is actually going to perform at some point in the fall. So yeah, so that's me. So I'm just going to go down the line here from the way I see people in the viewer here, and please share when I call on your name. So Julie Wilson, please.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I somehow lost the video in all my tabs, so I apologize. Well, I'm not really supposed to be here. I'm going to be in the background, but I work at Adobe, and I'm the program manager for the Workfront User Group program. So I help all the potential leaders start new chapters and get things going. But Kurt and Joaquin are your main people. But please feel free to reach out to me or connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Let's move on to, I hope I'm saying this, Charlie. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm Charlie Loader. I am a sole proprietor. I work at Corvid LLC. I am currently doing a contract through Apex right now as a Workfront admin. And my roles vary. So sometimes I come in as an implementation consultant, sometimes an architect, sometimes post-deployment support. And my favorite is probably admin, because you get to be more in touch with, some of the new things rolling out and the life beyond just a plan and an idea. So I would say my favorite thing about Workfront is with a new implementation, especially when you get that chance to kind of work with teams to solve problems, and they have this aha moment and they realize there's an opportunity to work maybe differently together, and I feel like paves the way for better communication across teams, and I love that. I love seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Great. Allie.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Allie Pentico. I'm an IT project manager at Tri-State Generation and Transmission. We're up in Westminster. We work in IT, so it's always very interesting to me to see how Workfront's changed with the Adobe acquisition, and not being a marketing company. What I really like about Workfront, well, first off, I guess I've been working with Workfront for about 10 years at 2 different companies. And what I love the most about it is very similar to what Charlie mentioned, working with different groups to help improve their processes and getting really creative in the solution. I just love how customizable it is and what you can do. I don't get to do that as much anymore, but it always makes my day when I can.
That's great. Yeah. Monique, Welcome.
Hello, hello. I am Monique Evans, and I do not live anywhere near Colorado, but I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. But anytime I have a little free time, I will always jump into a WUG and just meet some more folks and steal ideas. So that's why I'm here. But I work at Stanley Black and Decker, and I am in creative operations. So I am the sole Workfront admin, but I also, as Charlie was talking about, I do get to work with just other teams and learning what their process are and kind of fixing all things efficiency, no matter what it is. So that's kind of what my role is. I would say my dream feature addition in Workfront would be, and I actually told Jeremy Flores this when I saw him at Summit, is a AI admin, which I'm sure will freak out a bunch of people just by hearing those words. But there's all those little tasks that we always do and like can't get around to. And if like AI can just handle that for me, which I'm sure Kurt could figure out a way to do it in Fusion, but you don't always have time to build every scenario, right? And sometimes I just want to be like, hey, read this and put it into an Excel chart. So that's kind of my dream addition. And outside of work and hanging out with all of y'all, I am just a giant nerd. So I love all things pop culture, sports, media. Like I am always consuming some sort of just entertainment is probably the easiest way to put it.
That's awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I think we have a couple questions that we're going to post. I think these are screenshots or like sorry, codes, so you can take a picture of it.
We're gonna get these codes up here for the bar. So here we go. These codes should be active. So the first code, you guys should be able to take out your phones. If somebody says I don't have a phone, I'll be like, come on, really? But we just want to know how long have you guys used Workfront? I know a few folks kind of mentioned it, but not everyone did. So we're just kind of getting a view snapshot. I'm going to actually snapshot this as well. See what we got. So hopefully they come up for you guys, and hopefully it works. Yeah, how quick it is. All right. Scroll a little bit. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So we got old school. We got old school. Anybody 5 years or more? I mean, that's you guys are experts already. I mean, this would be good. So our second question that we have, just wanting to know, are you working with a new instance, something you just recently implemented, or are you working with something that has been inherited and kind of passed down or voluntold to basically do what you need to do? So we get all kinds of questions from folks all the time in terms of, what do you do if it's stuff that's not yours? How do you handle that? So we're just kind of curious to see where most folks fall. And if anybody does have a new instance, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm debating on which one I want to check, because it's actually, for me, it's like both. Some of it I built, some of it was some other folks that aren't here built. So I'm like, is it new? Is it inherited?
You don't recognize anybody else's work anymore. Just be like, it's all new. It's all new.
I mean, I all own it, so I'll say new.
I was debating too, Monique, on mine.
Yep.
I inherited it. I came in right at the end of their implementation. Fairly new.
Yeah, I mean, technically I was part of our implementation, but there was, I think, 12 of us. So I was part of, 1/12 of said implementation, whereas now there's only 2 of us left. And that person is like our chief of staff. So obviously they're not doing any of these things anymore. So it's like I inherited 11 parts.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I inherited mine as well and at the JB Morgan. So it was already done and built, and we've been kind of tooling it. I don't think people recognize it for what it was as opposed to what we have now, but it was definitely inherited. Awesome. All right, we have one last one. So you can only select 2 of these. So if you had 2 of these items, basically 2 functions in Workfront that you would like to learn better, what would those be? So things like the project management, resource management, reporting, Fusion, boards, you'll see all kinds of stuff when you kind of pop in there. You guys can choose other, if you're thinking about things like, hey, I'd like to know about AI, things of that nature. I didn't necessarily include those. You can include other as well, but you can only pick 2. So we're trying to see where folks might fall in terms of just stuff they want to learn more about. Let's see what am I? All right, we'll kind of scroll through this. So some for project management, a little bit of text mode, advanced reporting. Monique, you voted. Come on now. I know that's you. Boards, Workfront planning. Okay, there's one there. Calendars. Awesome. So it looks like folks have some interest in Fusion and potentially learning more about reporting. So those would be things that Joaquin and I essentially will, again, we'll capture all of this data. We'll kind of send it to you guys as part of the deck in terms of, hey, these were the questions that were kind of asked. And at least right now, these were the answers that we had across the board. So we could potentially take a look as we kind of get towards the end of our call today and think about our next meeting. If folks want to know a little bit more about Fusion, we can talk about that here in a moment. So those were our polls. I have one other item just to share, and then oh my gosh, I hate I can't go backwards on this thing. Terrible. It didn't want to start exactly where I was at. Sorry.
It's funny how Workfront experts can have technical issues on other programs. Like I can magically finger tap anything on Workfront, but you ask me to go through a PowerPoint display and I'm all thumbs. Just bleh. It's cool. We're all good. This is a safe space.
So yeah, so I included kind of what we call kind of a learn more page. So I don't know how active you guys are or are not in terms of just some of the tools or resources that are available to us, kind of free of charge just to learn more. So I did want to call attention to a few things so that you guys are aware of it. I mean, one of those pieces is just the Experience Lead community. There is a community for most all of Adobe's products, Workfront being one of them. So there's a specific community for Adobe Workfront. The link that you see here is the one that goes directly to Workfront, but it's a pretty active community. You'll see folks like me, Joaquin, and Monique in there helping to answer questions. We also ask questions. I ask my peers questions when I run into something that I'm trying to do, and either I can't remember how to do it, or maybe I've never done it before, and I'm trying to figure out what would be a good way to do this use case that I'm having an issue with. And typically I'll get a response, and it's a response that I can use, that I can grab and then basically use it to solve my questions. So if you guys aren't active out there, I would recommend going out there, creating your profile, and it's a good way to just get engaged with folks to help you answer questions. There's also an events page. So you guys may or may not know, but there are monthly events for Workfront. There were some this week. There's Workfront collectives. There's Ask Me Anything events. Almost every month there's a release notes event where folks will kind of go through all the new things that were kind of released in the monthly release, so that if you have questions or you're not sure when you read the notes what exactly that thing was, there's people that do know a little bit about it, or they have information from the product teams to be able to kind of give you. So if you weren't aware of that, it's something that I use pretty much on a regular basis, and I'm meetings monthly, as many as I can get into. Adobe Learning, you guys probably do know that, but there are some pay classes that are pretty good, but there's also a lot of on-demand stuff out there as well. I was talking with a group a couple of weeks ago, and they did not know where the training site was. Just the normal regular, if you wanted to just purchase or go get training from Adobe, they didn't know this URL. So that's what reminded me to say, well, hey, let's make sure that all of the folks, at least in our WUGs, are available or know where that link is at. And the last two are just more kind of, I'll say, business related. We've had a lot of folks just ask about like, hey, where could I go to get like a use case, or like I'm trying to pitch to like my higher ups about Workfront adoption, or about maybe purchasing Fusion or doing more automation or integrating with some of our other systems, and they're not so keen on it. So how do I make pitches? The perspectives page and the business kind of webinars, there's several hundred webinars from years past on the business page there. I've gone through a few of them and I've used them in my past, where they're just webinars that are kind of put together by Adobe and some of the product teams explaining lots of different things. And if you've never visited those pages, there's a lot of really good information, especially if you're trying to kind of build a business case, or you're trying to find some information maybe on purchasing maybe a product or connecting with on another Adobe product. I found so much good information, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys, as our WUG members, are kind of aware of some of those pieces, because there's some good information that you can at least glean, put it into your AI bot, and piece it all together, and you may have a great pitch to your boss to get funding or the product that you want for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what we had today. It was just more of a meet and greet. So I would be curious to get a little bit of feedback from you guys in terms of, for our next topic or next meeting, what you guys might want to have us focus on. It could be something that you're thinking about at work and you want help to kind of look at a use case, or it could be something like what we saw. Fusion, text mode reporting, something of that nature, if you guys want maybe a version of that. So any feedback that you guys want to bring forward in terms of our next meet? Oh, don't be shy.
I think since I saw that Pittsburgh is going to have some Fusion topics potentially tomorrow, might look to see what's covered there before thinking about that.
I know who's presenting there too, so I'll be the person presenting. So you could bypass the Pittsburgh one, and I'll do it for the Colorado one as well.
That's right.
Fusion is your middle name, right, Kurt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I seem to be getting pulled in. I mean, so I'll be honest, you guys, for the Fusion stuff, I mean, what most folks want, I mean, most of us that do Fusion, 80% of us are not programmers. We don't have a programming background. We were voluntold to take over Workfront, just like you guys saw with the inherited instance. And as you were learning that stuff, somewhere along the line, you probably crossed paths with Fusion or learned about it, pitched it to your bosses, got it, and then you're like, well, okay, now what? Like, how do I use this thing? And so you've learned it maybe through some of these resources that I have on the page here, right? So you just started figuring out, and most of the folks on the Pittsburgh chapter are in that state. They're just like, what should we use Fusion for? Like, give us ideas of like maybe things that you want done or that be done. It becomes a little overwhelming because it looks like a programming tool, it acts like a programming tool, and if you don't have that background, it looks scary. But I think in general, it's not. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff without having all kinds of programming background, and that's really what the item is for tomorrow. How'd you learn it? Where could you go? Some of these resources that I'm pointing here will be resources that I note for where I got some of my tricks and tips. Probably some of the best, most coolest stuff that I've put into my Fusion scenarios came from the community. So they came from other people that were either helping to answer my question or answer questions for someone else. And I was looking for the exact same thing. And I came across their post and their answer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that solves my issue. And then I took it and kind of went to work. So most of us that do Fusion are not programmers. I mean, we are just normal, regular folks trying to figure, how do we get this thing to do more for our teams? So that will be the pitch and the slant that you guys see tomorrow if you do jump in there. But yeah, I'd be happy to do something like that here if we want to. Otherwise, any other use cases, areas that folks are thinking about, or maybe that are coming up in your world that you want to know more about?
There was one that wasn't listed there. It would have been other. I bumped into an instance that was utilizing business rules, and not all instances have that level access. And they're really powerful, and really, I think there's actually a lot of business or use cases for them. So I was delighted when I discovered them, and really saw a lot of legs to that, but realized it was a tool that just wasn't typically available for clients that I support, but it's something that I think a lot of people could benefit from knowing more about.
Okay.
Felt like it was a new feature that snuck in under the radar.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think that's a really good one. We do use business rules at JP Morgan. So I can bring, some examples or put some stuff together. We could get some stuff from the Adobe side as well in terms of like what they were thinking about in terms of when they built business rules. But yeah, I think that would be a good session topic in terms of just, I can share quite a bit of maybe some of the examples that we have. There's nothing earth shattering, but they've been really beneficial. We did the same thing. We just realized we had it and started looking into it, had some use cases. They worked for those use cases, and we're like, hey, okay, this is kind of cool. So, okay. So Fusion was on the board, business rules, and probably maybe we'll ask Monique to come back on reporting. That'd be fun.
I mean, Kurt, you got Joaquin right there. I feel like both of you are experts in text mode. But
yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Have Joaquin.
I've done a few things. Well, one thing I do want to add too, just to everybody, obviously, if there's new product enhancements and features that get released between our meetings, we'll probably address those things too during that meeting at some point. Either it's just informational or what to kind of think about as those things are rolling out, that you or mere instances, maybe you have a select group within your environment that could benefit from something like that. Like right now, I know this is an older product feature, but not a lot of people haven't really tapped into it, but Data Connect as sort of this broad spectrum enterprise level reporting structure that you can start implementing and really make the case for Workfront as being that single source for your work management tool, and how that can ladder up to what your executives are doing and stuff. And so I've done a lot of kind of research and testing where I'm at now to kind of think through that stuff and see how that practically works for everybody. So there's opportunities there too as we look at new enhancements and features within Workfront. Yeah.
Anything else, you guys? Otherwise, I mean, we will give some time back. It's really to kind of do icebreaker, get to know you guys a little bit, and we will probably plan for another one of these, maybe 4 or 5 weeks out. I know as we get through kind of the holiday coming up, and as people kind of get back to school and sports and things of that nature, we'll kind of figure out a time frame and set up kind of our secondary one. Our second one will focus on one of these topics, and if the business rules, that sounds like a good one. Maybe that will be our draw, is that we do a little pitch or review of business rules and can kind of talk through that.
Yeah.
With the WUG as a whole.
And there's always opportunities. Yeah, and there's always opportunities that we could try to get to meet in person too. So we'll kind of look at opportunities, especially if you guys go to Summit. There might be an opportunity if a few of us are there that we might try to do some meetups and kind of see each other in person and talk about the things that are happening there. But we might also try to look for, maybe a place to go and meet during one of these sessions where we can kind of be in person and kind of talk through some of those. So yeah.
Find a place maybe downtown that's not too far away.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's thrown to the wind.
Yeah.
There's the Adobe office too.
That's true. That's true.
Excellent. Okay, there we go. Outside of that, Joaquin, anything else for closing?
No, I'm just really glad that you guys participated. We're really looking forward to kind of building this thing out. Obviously, your input helps us. So if there's anything that you think of along the way that you'd like us to touch base on, I don't know if Kurt mentioned this, I think he did, but just to reiterate, we do have a stable of experts too that are at the product level. So at Adobe that can come in and do presentations for us. And like you said, there's a community of experts out there that we can always reach out to and see if they want to help us out. Obviously, Monique and Kurt have done that for other people, and so we could look to do that for ourselves too as well. So it doesn't just have to be Kurt and I, even though we do love to talk sometimes too much, but we can also look for other voices, other perspectives to kind of provide some context to anything that you might want to know about Workfront. That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Feel free to find us on LinkedIn too, you guys. I mean, it'd be great just to connect locally. So if you guys ever, outside of Workfront stuff, you guys at least have somebody in the community,
Yeah.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Spread the
Some time
word.
back. Thanks again for
Spread the
joining.
word through Colorado.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you
It's nice meeting all y'all.
later. All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Bye now.